All right, so we are at that day when we're finally going to set the lift in. Painted yesterday, it's dry now. So what I did so far, you guys really probably don't want to see any of this. So I uncrated the lift, got it broken apart. I took the lines, because they're connected together in the crate with the hydraulic lines. So I separated them, labeled them A, B, C, D, so that way they go back in the right order. So that is important. This stuff is also in the crate. We got the these are the flip down ramps that can extend where if you're lifting or jacking points are further apart. These work to work make that work. And then you have these plates here that go on either end. This is where the hoses are held. That's what this is for. Hoses come in under here, tuck under, and go through the sleeving. This goes on the other end. And when these come down, they rest on these here. And then we've got the control unit. I kind of set it in place over here, just kind of playing around to see how it looks in front of the column. So all the hydraulic lines will come up under through our sleeving here, and they are currently right. They come out right there underneath it. So I flush cut that yesterday. Put some of the Swiss tracks in. So that's it, and then we can go outside and I'll kind of show you what I got going out here. So I bought some conduit over there, some 1.25 inch or 1.5 inch conduit. So I'm gonna cut those up about 3 feet long and lift this up, set them on, set each scissor on those basically rollers at that point, and then I'll use that to roll it over top and leapfrog in the rollers ahead of it, because I don't think the lift is going to reach far enough to get it in place where it needs to go, because it's got to go, right in the center of this, which I don't know if this is going to reach out far enough. So I have that as a backup. I'm going to try it first with the lift and we'll see how it goes, but if not, I got the rollers. And what I did was I used the forklift to raise it up and down with the lines disconnected, and then caught all the fluid that's inside the hydraulic cylinders, and they're in that bucket with some rags just to capture, because when we lift it up and down there, I don't want oil splattering all over our brand new painted concrete. So anyway, that's what's up. So I'm gonna get that ready to go and we'll set it in place. Leapfrog these in. I just thought about it. I'm like, how am I gonna just by myself? Try to do, if I can reach, just come in with the forklift and grab this strap, lift up the front, pull some of these pipes out. If not, fine. Fine B, you say?
That's what you do.
Not so sure. So we've got one sort of set in place. I forgot to turn my mic on, so you might have some footage issues. So we're gonna make it work. But I'm gonna cut this 7 foot long, use this as a lever,
to get the front end up because I can't reach over with the forklift. The forks just aren't long enough. So I'm gonna try as gently as I can to set the front end in. And then the next one, I'll have my mic on now, and we can show you the second one, how it worked properly, because we'll have figured it out on this one. So I think we're getting it. It's just a little bit of ad-libbing as we go. But I'm trying to show you how to do it if you're doing it all by yourself. Minus, you need a forklift, obviously, but or 10 guys. Hey, Jeff, is our Chipotle ready?
What did you order?
I ordered a bowl, 2 bowls.
2 chicken bowls and chips and guac?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, that's you. Okay,
But it's not all for me. But
it's
yeah,
not all, yeah.
No, I'm giving one to Trevor.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay, you know,
Okay,
have they made it already?
Huh?
Have they made it already?
Yeah, they're all ready. I'm going right now back to the office.
Okay, all right. Can you give me a side of extra corn salsa while you're there?
It might not be able to. They're a little packed.
Are they? Okay. Well, thanks for trying. I got you suckers the other day, but that's okay.
Yeah, no,
Don't worry about
cool.
my corn salsa.
Okay.
All right, bye. I try to guilt him, Mike. I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah, that's the problem. That's gonna be the problem, Mike, is if we don't order ahead every time, and we get there and people that aren't well versed in Chipotle etiquette, they're gonna be like 15 minutes just for one guy, one person. Yeah. Can you explain what the chicken is? I need to know what spices you use, because I have heartburn. I'm 78 years old and I get heartburn. So explain what's in, and we're all back there going, oh geez, I only got 30 minutes for lunch. Come on, can we move it along? Anyway, we're all gonna be old once, Mike. It's karma, right? I'm talking this trash, but it's gonna be karma. I'm gonna one day be there and someone's gonna be impatient. Some young guy's gonna be behind me wanting his order, and I'm gonna forget what even came on Chipotle. All right, Mike, I gotta find a fulcrum. Let's see. So the foam blocks that came with it will work fine. I forgot about these. We'll do this and then we'll put some wood over it. So we found this out by the dumpster. I don't know if we got that. This is it's probably got raccoon feces on it and everything else, but there were no coral snakes in it, so I was lucky there. I'm not dead. All right. Gotta do what we have to do, Mike. Okay, I think this is. Oh yeah, let's see if we're getting it up off there. All the way out. And this is where we're gonna try to do it gently as we can. Let's see, let me get back here. And provided the blocks don't kick out, we'll be all right. That's about to happen. That worked out all right, huh, Mike? Not there yet, though. So the next go around, we won't have this much sticking out because that is touching the ground. Gonna wiggle it this way a little bit. There we go. Now, let's see. Slide it that way. I hear him. I hear him. I think that's it, Mike. It's about as gentle as I could do it. It worked out. Now this one we're going to look like pros, Mike. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say your name so many times. Anonymous person, film cinematographer. We are at 11 and 5/8. I think we got to come this way a little bit. 13. Oh, darn it. It's all right. We can scoot it.
Is this what I got it right?
That's okay. Right. That's corn salsa, buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
Give me my sea suckers.
I'm gonna get you more cotton candy suckers next time I go. This is good B-roll footage here because we're stopping our project to eat Chipotle. So, Kyle, Jeff, Michael. This is you, Mike.
You're special. You get the bag.
I get the big bag?
Yeah.
Put it here. There we go. It's for a. Bring it over to a warehouse here. Yeah, I told you this forklift is good for the drive-through. The warehouse guys are legitimately crying for their forklift. They came over asking for it, so we're gonna bring it back.
Chef's gonna be kind of upset if you lose that thing.
I'm not losing it. This thing's buttery smooth, Mike. It is, it's Trevor's. Oh, well, if I drop it, it's my son, so he'll be fine. I think we're okay though, Mike. That's what the forks are for, Mike. So we got this one in, and got a couple of drips of oil. So what I learned was that we cannot, the forklift doesn't reach out far enough to set it all the way in. So I did with my roller system, it worked pretty well. I was able to roll it into place, get it roughly where it needs to be end to end, and then set one end down with the forklift and use that long scrap that we found out by the dumpster. Lifted this end up with that and set it gently on the ground. So we're gonna do this one next. Clean up a little oil here. This is a beauty right here. I won't hurt it, because I know there's not another one like it. Very rare interior. You can roll that pipe out, Jeffrey. Just slide it out your way. Nice assist, Jeff. There it is. All right. They're both officially in. All right, so where we're at, got them both set in. We're gonna have to lengthen the hydraulic lines from lift to lift. And then the lines that go to the control over there, they don't reach. But I just want to get it mocked up. And so I just filled it with fluid right now, and we're gonna try it, see how it goes. We'll get it up in the air and see how that looks. And then what I'll do is once I get it up, I'll block the lift on the way down. I'll cut some 2x and block it so that I can pull the lines loose and get the correct lengths made. Because the control, for one thing, they had it set up to be on this side. We want it on that side, so the lines aren't really long enough. And Nussbaum makes them a little short to come into for a recessed lift. So we're gonna have I'm gonna get some lengthened and also get the hoses lengthened to go under the sleeving over to the control, because they're not long enough right now. But anyway, let's try it, see how it works. So this one's different than the one we installed in Atlanta. This has the joysticks. You gotta lift up and then go forward. Ooh, there we go. How high do you think it goes, Mike? How high do you think it goes? I'm gonna measure it. Let's get it all the way up there and see where it is. This will get all the air out of the system too. I think we figured it was like 75 inches or something like that. That looks pretty tall even right there. That's it right there. That's pretty high. It's definitely taller than me. Yeah, you and I are about the same height. All right, let's see. What are you thinking? Well, now Swiss Trax isn't down yet, so that'll take up 3/4. So we're at 74.5. So that's 6'2", and the car will sit up another 3 or 4 inches.
You check it.
You check it. We'll put a level across and see if you bump your head. Well, let's see. Now this is the true check here. Now see if you can walk under that without hitting your noggin. No, don't look up. Look straight. There you go. Oh yeah, you got a 1/2 inch clearance. It's just touching your hair.
Good thing I don't have a lot of it. That should be slouched. See if I'm slouched, I'm good.
And you're good. Your normal slouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just walk like this.
Yeah, it will be. The car will always be on blocks. Plus the undercarriage. Yeah, that's only 3/4. We're good. I got plenty of room, Mike. Look at that, huh? I got like 4 inches clearance.
What's our plan on our hydraulic fluid, PP dribble everywhere?
Well, that's.
Cover up the Swiss tracks.
And just cover it and just.
Repaint it.
Yeah.
Paint over it.
PP dribble. I think actually it wasn't bad. Just one little drips from the lines. That's it. Wasn't too
It
bad.
says every time he's just swinging around.
Ah, no, swinging. No swing. That's when you're involved, because you make me nervous. All right, so we're good. Let's come back down and see how that looks. Tomorrow I'll take the lines once I'm gonna go all the way down then back up again just to see how it looks down. But I'll get it blocked up. We'll pull the lines loose and then get them lengthened to the proper length. I'll set this up over here, mock everything up, get exact lengths on what we need, because what we're not gonna replace the entire hose. What I'll just have them do is make a piece that goes in between the connections to lengthen the hose. Be less expensive to do that way. There we go. All right, go up just a little more. I'm gonna block it right there, and then tomorrow we'll do the lengthening the hoses and should be able to button up getting it bolted down. Okay, we are where we left off yesterday. Lifts are in place, and I've got some measurements. I need to make one of them 98 inches, another one 42, and 2 of them 20 inches long. And basically I'm just gonna lengthen each line so they reach the control and then they reach in between each other. So I'm gonna head down to the hydraulic shop, I guess it's probably like 10 miles away, get these made up, hopefully they have the fittings, get it all plumbed back up, put the control where it goes, and then we can get it bolted down. And then we'll just rest is just assembly. So we're getting close. It'll be today. My favorite car thus far that I've owned. Yeah, I would like the GT3 RS over there, next to it in the garage. Someday, Mike, someday. I'm saving my pennies. Still warm, Mike. It's fixed, man. I mean, it really fixed the sound. Active mid-pipe, ACR rear section, non-resonated, secondary cats deleted. Still have the primaries. It's not an S65, but for an inline 6, it sounds pretty good. And it's way faster than that. That does not sound so good. Doesn't sound so good, man. I think he's looking for a race.
Yeah, I think so.
Mike, 325. Oh boy,
Let's
shit.
go down.
That's power steering pump for sure. Yeah. I don't think that's a supercharger making that whine, Mike. We'll have a little bit of an exhaust leak as well.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's for freer flowing.
Oh, here we go.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Keep it alive, dude. Oh, no.
Oh, he's, uh-oh. He's trying. Oh boy. that was some good stuff. That was hilarious. I don't mean to laugh at someone's poor failure, but man, the car was like this. I think he just learned to drive a manual as well. In clutch, out clutch, throttle. What am I doing? That was pretty good. Let's not put that in the video, Mike.
It's all green screen. Bro.
It was. It wasn't even me driving. That was a good splice there, Mike. With some of the other driver that looks similar to me. Yeah, in Mexico.
Close set, yeah.
In Mexico. Morning. So what I need, basically need this end on either end, and I need 198, 142, and 2 at 20 inches. 98, 40. You want to take that? All right.
20, 42, 98.
Yep. He's better with than the lady with the wheelbarrow.
Oh yeah.
And then part number, she would have had 27, 16, 407. Is that right? I think we did. I think we did all right, Mike. And we're back. It's almost everything we needed. So this all gets covered up with a plate. So all these hoses will be hidden under here. They made us 4 or 3 out of the 4 hoses that we need, so I'm gonna have to wait till they get the other parts in to do the other hose, but we'll get it all hooked up, and then I'll just put the control unit right here, and then we can go up and down, get in position, and then I'm gonna anchor them with our 1/2-inch wedge anchors. That way this part's done, and then all I have to do is wait for one hose, and I can run it under and mount the control where it's going, which is right there. So you can see that it's that one that's stubby is just a little too short. I mean, it's gotta come up as high as that one. So that's what this hose is for. How are we looking there clearance-wise?
That's pretty tight there.
That's good. That's a good 1/4 inch. That's pretty good. We're even on both sides. If you look over here, we also have about 1/4. So I'd say that's, I'd call that good. All right, so we've got the other 3 installed. I'm gonna show just kind of basic how this works. So these are the tilt down ramps that can extend the platform for cars with jacking points that are further spread apart. So what they send you is obviously the ramp, and then they send you a couple springs, the bolts that go on the end of this rod. So how it works is this rod ends up coming through this, through here, and then these springs go here in line like this. And then the ramp comes down like that. So, and then the bolt and the washer go on the end to hold the spring in place so it doesn't walk off, right? And then how these work, how they stay out, is these slide out. Once you get the ramp, let's say you have a car with wide jacking points, you pull these out, right? And they support this. It's like I have this one. I've already got this one installed. So you can see this is coming out that, so it supports it there. So if you want to put them in, then it comes like this. And this just keep them from clanging, I think, is what their intent is, which is nice. So, like that. What I do, so put one on first, like this, slide the rod through. And as it comes through there, sneak this one in. All right, that's it. So I've got them pretty well positioned where they go. I'm gonna just verify that. And then the next thing we're gonna do is get them bolted down. So I'm gonna bring them down just to make sure everything's lined up perfectly like we want. We want a uniform gap all the way around, make sure nothing hits on the way down. And then we got them positioned. They actually are not, based on the base of the unit, is not actually centered in the pit, because they're a little more forward or back, can't remember, but the platform is actually offset slightly from the base. So I was measuring from the base to the pit and had that centered, but then the platform was not clearing. So I ended up sliding them, I think 3/4 of an inch. There's 3/4 of an inch offset. So I slid them 3/4 of an inch that way further than they are from the front to the back. So now we've got uniform clearance. We've got about a 5/16 of an inch there, and as well as here, and same uniform clearance all the way around on both sides. And this is where you can tell the lines were, when we saw cut the concrete, everything's nice and straight, because if you'd have had wave, you'd for sure see it right here. So I'm pretty happy with where they are. I'm gonna get them lifted up, and next thing is I'm gonna get them drilled and wedge anchored down to the foundation. I've got the transition ramps in. Had to trim that one a little bit just to make it fit, but it is a custom install, so sometimes you have to do what you have to do. So now I'm gonna anchor it down, get some holes drilled. There's 6 for each side. So I'll get this side done. I'll show you how we do that. We're using 1/2-inch wedge anchors, so that's a 1/2-inch bit. And They're 5 1/4 or 5 1/2 inches long. Slab's 5 1/2 inches thick. So here we go. Just like that, 12 more times. Yeah, always put the nut on first, because every time you hit it, it swells the top of the stud out just a little bit. So if you try to pound them in first, with the nut off, and then you try to get the nut on, a lot of times they won't go. Unless you're doing like a little stubby one, you could probably do it then, because you only got to hit it 2 or 3 times. But if you're hitting it enough times, it's going to swell it out for sure.
What's up with people saying your shirt's too small, Mike?
I don't know. I don't like them real loose. Does this look too small?
I don't know.
I'm gonna lay off the snacks. I'm getting self-conscious. I know, what's up with that? I think one guy said that. I don't know, maybe another guy agreed. That's okay, I don't mind. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Maybe it's helping me out. Right? I'm gonna lay off the treats. All right, so we're buttoned up with the lift. Everything's bolted down. So I started the Swiss tracks. This is one of the last, the finishing touches, I guess you'd say. Other than we have one, I'm waiting for one fitting to extend one of the hoses for the control unit. That's supposed to be here tomorrow. But in the meantime, we'll get all the Swiss tracks cut, and then we'll be just about done. We'll just be waiting for a fitting. So this, because it's on a 45, what I'm doing is I'm using a straight edge. I've already started over here. Then I line it up with the tile here, make my mark. And because the straight edge is on the side I want to keep, and I'm drawing a line on the side that's getting cut, what I'll do is I'll make the line disappear with the saw, and that way it'll be finished out. So basically I'm going to take the line. Go. There we are, nice and flush. So I gotta cut this little piece next. Unfortunately, waste a whole bunch just to cut this little. Let's see. I think we'll try to use this on something else though. This is the main reason I started using the jigsaw, because the tile saw, it's not big enough to turn this tile 45 and cut to an inside corner like this. So I started using the jigsaw to do that. And the reason I'm not using the tile saw and everything else, or the, not tile saw, but carpet saw, or carpet tile cutter, or whatever the heck you call it. Anyway, is because the cut edge finish using that saw or that cutter versus a jigsaw, it looks different. So if I'm gonna do any of it, I'm just gonna do it all the same with the same machine. That way it looks uniform. Because that kind of leaves a white edge when you cut it, whereas this one still leaves it pretty gray. So I'm gonna just use the same cutter through the whole thing. Okay, so Swiss Tracks is done. It's all cut to fit. I'm really, really, really pleased with how it came out. I think it looks really good with the tile. I think it finished it off nicely so you don't see the cut concrete. It was a little bit of work to cut all these because they're all basically cut at a 45 now. Tomorrow that fitting comes in, I'll hook that up and we'll show you what it looks like all complete with the control where it goes. But as far as it working, it works very well. So we'll go down and see how that works. Fits pretty good. The one thing we're gonna work on with Nussbaum is the transition ramps are a little low. What we would like them to be is a little higher so that when it comes down. So this is now level with Swiss tracks, right? But these transition ramps they gave us need to come up about 1/2 an inch because they're just below Swiss tracks. So we're gonna work on that with them. We've got only about 1/4 inch of clearance between the bolt head and the tile, which is fine. As long as it doesn't hit, we're good. So we'll work on that with them, get this done. And this is gonna be a done project. So I got other things to do next. So we'll get this finished, and I got lighting to do in here still. So this is an 8mm. It's basically for tubing, okay? So normally there'd be a ferrule and a nut on either end of this, but this is essentially a flexible tubing, or almost is the way they make it work. So it's got an O-ring on the inside that seals on the inside where the tube and the ferrule would go. So this just slides in here like this. The O-ring seals it, and you don't even really need to make these that tight because the O-ring does all the sealing. It's not a compression fitting really. So it's like that, and then snug it up real quick. Doesn't need to be crazy tight. That's good enough right there. And then that goes on the other end of the hose, and then this end will come up here and mount to the back of this hydraulic manifold. So I'm gonna take that off, and then we'll put the line on, slide it through the sleeve. And then I think what we can end up doing is creating a solution based on where people mount this. We'll already know what the lines need to be from scissor to scissor, and then if they tell us, hey, I'm gonna put the control 11 feet away on the right, we'll know exactly what we want, what lines they need, and we can make them and send them with the lift. And the idea here is all these lines I have to disconnect because they all come up through the base, through here, up here, and then reconnect here. So I'm gonna mark this because these look the same, right? So I'm gonna mark this as being on this port here. This is a AB port. So this will be our drain back line. All hooked up. The only thing I've noticed here is this tab is bent. We'll have to straighten that out. That happened in shipping. I'm sure that wasn't Nussbaum's fault. So we'll straighten that. But anyway, it's ready to go. This is exactly where it's going. The lines are hooked up now. We can verify operation. Might have a little air in the lines, but let's see. Oh yeah. And that's why we're gonna bolt this down, because if it was just a push button, it wouldn't matter so much, but you really have to pull on this pretty firmly. So I think best course of action is anchor it to the floor.
Yeah, I think this is way easy to get it on there, huh?
All right, so lift's done. I guess we're gonna give it a little test run, see how she lifts. I think we're good. It's good here. All right, that looks good. I'm happy. So I guess that's it for the install. I think Matt and I are gonna do a little wrap up on it, and that'll be next video. But it's done. I'm happy with it. It looks great. So hopefully this series proved helpful for you guys. So this is something can be done in your garage. Obviously we went the extra mile with a few of the things like you know, tiling the cut. I think it really proved to really finish it off well. But you know, I did do a few extra steps. It's well worth it though. So you'll be able to, I think, be able to go through these videos and at least get a really good idea of how this is done. And if you can't do it yourself, at least maybe you can show a contractor or somebody that can do this. Hey, look, this is what I want done. This is how these guys did it. You know, give me a price. Yeah, it's done. I'm happy. So on to the next project.